Hello everybody. Today I have based my session on the commonly used literary technique, imagery and its types, employing my own voice clips of songs for further understanding. So what is imagery? Imagery is a literary technique employed by poets, novelists, and other writers to create images in the mind of the reader. Furthermore, it makes the writer's or poet's writing colorful, vivid, and even more interesting.
You fill up my senses like a night in a forest, like the mountains in springtime, like a walk in the rain, like a storm in the desert, like a sleepy blue ocean. You fill up my senses, come fill me again.
The song you just listened to, Annie's song, depicts about sensors, which is why I utilized it to give you the idea that types of imagery are connected to our sensors. The 5 types of imagery are visual imagery, auditory imagery, tactile imagery, olfactory imagery, and gustatory imagery. Moving on, let's look at visual imagery. As the picture of the eye on the right depicts, visual imagery describes what we can see through the means of the writer's eye. Before moving on to the next slide, I kindly request you to close your eyes and listen and imagine.
But it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care, so call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the what I say. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make. There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away. Special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our minds. I don't care if they call us crazy. Run away to a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the what I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make.
Slowly open your eyes. What did you see? What did you visualize? The voice clip you just listened to is taken from the movie The Greatest Showman, where Barnum is the protagonist who wants to achieve high in life in order to support his wife and children, basically his family, because he is not from a well-to-do status. Now let us look at some examples of visual imagery. So visual imagery can be subcategorized under the components of color, pattern, shape, and size. The first example: the sun was a glowing yellow like summer in the morning. In this sentence, the sun has been compared to the bright summer color of a golden shine by using the words glowing yellow like summer. Try saying this sentence and see if you could visualize the color. Secondly, the child exclaimed, "Let's run zigzag around the playground." Imagine a small child trying to run in a pattern in the playground. Zigzag. Did you visualize the pattern? Thirdly, the child had a rectangular-looking, absurd-shaped laptop. This makes us imagine a laptop of an absurd shape, which is quite abnormal. Lastly, the gigantic troll sought the care of the giant monkey, which made us amused. This makes us amused to think as to why a huge troll would need the care of a huge monkey, and we will start to visualize the size of the two. And moving on, let's have a look at auditory imagery. As the picture on the right depicts an ear, auditory imagery deals with imagery which we can hear when we listen to a song or read a text or a poem. Again, before moving on to the next slide, I kindly request you to close your eyes and listen and imagine.
I'm bulletproof, nothing to lose. Far away, ricochet, you take your aim. Far away, you shoot me down, but I won't fall. I'm titanium, you shoot me down, but I won't fall. I'm titanium. Cut me down, but it's you'll have further to fall. Ghost town and haunted love. Raise your voice. Sticks and stones may break my bones. I'm talking loud, not saying much.
Slowly open your eyes. So what are the sound effects with imagery you heard? Did you hear the sound of shooting? Cry of pain? The voice clip which you just listened to depicts a battle zone where an individual is under the circumstances of war, but he bears it up and lays immune to pain, not because he doesn't feel the pain, but because he has suffered severely from the war state, which makes him stand up for himself with the little life he's got. Now let us look at some examples of auditory imagery. Auditory imagery can be basically divided under the subcomponents of enjoyable music, noise, and lack of sound. The first example: the musician melodiously played the bird song. This depicts that the musician melodiously played a beautiful bird hymn which is related to nature, which we would like to listen to. This is an enjoyable sound. Secondly, the bang of the gun sound made the dogs bark wildly. This depicts huge sounds created, such as the dogs barking very loudly at a huge sound, which brings the sound of a terrible lake to our ear. This depicts noise. Thirdly, when the students saw the principal walking in, they maintained pin-drop silence. This depicts how the students stopped all forms of misbehavior and stayed quite well when they noticed the principal walking in to their classroom. This shows a lack of noise, pin-drop silence. Moving on, let us look at olfactory imagery. As the picture of the nose depicts, olfactory imagery deals with the sense of smell. Now let us look at some examples of olfactory imagery. Olfactory imagery can exist in two forms, such as bad odor and good odor. Would you like the smell of a garbage lorry going past your house? When you sense that smell, without seeing what it is, you are able to state where the bad odor came from. On the other hand, imagine perfume. It smells quite good, isn't it? That depicts good odor. And moving on, let's have a look at gustatory imagery. As the picture on the right depicts the mouth, gustatory imagery deals with the means of taste. Imagine you come home from school and you get the smell of your mother cooking up your favorite dish. What sort of sensation do you get? Is it mouth-watering? Let us have a peek into some examples of gustatory imagery. The picture of dessert gives us a sweet taste, which we'd like to eat. Lemon gives us a sour taste, so we might just keep it away. French fries gives us a salty taste. Imagine a chicken curry in Sri Lankan style. Isn't it spicy? You'd love to have it. Moving on, let us look at tactile imagery. The picture depicted here shows us how you could feel different objects with the use of your skin by touching or feeling it. Therefore, tactile imagery deals with touch and feel. Before moving on to the next slide, I would kindly request you to close your eyes and listen and imagine.
You think you want whatever land you land on. The earth is just a dead thing you can claim. But I know every rock and tree and creature has a life, has a spirit, has a name. You think the only people who are people are the people who look and think like you. But if you walk to the footsteps of a stranger, you learn things you never knew, you never knew. Have you ever heard the voice cry to the blue corn moon? Oh, was the granny bobcat, why he grinned? Can you sing with all the voices of the mountain? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind?
Slowly open your eyes. What did you feel? The voice clip you just listened to depicts Pocahontas, a Native American who helps John Smith understand the wonders of earth and nature, inclusive of spirit of all living things, and not to think of them as an object of conquer, but to respect them all and live in harmony. Since John and his team were destroying nature, habitats, and so forth to dig up for hidden treasures and gold, which makes Pocahontas, who having witnessed it, quite miserable and angry. This song depicts pure advice, which makes us feel emotional as well. Don't you think so? Now let us look at some examples of tactile imagery. Tactile imagery can be subcategorized as texture, movement, and temperature. The first picture gives us a soft and smooth material, velvet. Therefore, it denotes the feel of texture. The second picture shows us a small boy kicking a football, where he can feel the football when he kicks it, which shows movement. The third picture shows a girl in an icy, bitter, cool rain shivering under an umbrella, which depicts the feel of temperature. I hope you got a clear understanding about the types of imagery. And finally, I would like to thank you for taking your time to view my session. Thank you.